Hey, hello guys. Today I'm back again, back in my dorm. What's up, yo guys? Today we're gonna talk about the extreme life circumstance for a good guy. Plural, any good guys. Okay. First of all, we're gonna define and we're gonna go through the list of every features of a good guys and how do you define typical good guys. And I just go down a list. And number one is having a lot of female friends who hope to switch to a new iPhone model every years and hope you bail them out, buy them the Xbox or whatever. And secondly, there's like ongoing like sexual desire for any of those female connections, female friends, but you can only submerge all these feelings, like, because every time you engage with them, you discuss your feelings, or you're going into a serious engaged relationship. They just refuse every time. You just got rejected every time. They refuse and you got rejected. And number three is you give them all your time. Yeah, I don't gotta watch here, but you got the sense. You just give them all your time, your attentions, your positive energy, the vibe, the whole vibe here. Like even the monetary values, the money in your bank account, to feed them egos. And for those of you who don't know what ego is, you definitely go to check out the Wikipedia online. Like they have the very classic textbook definition for how to define an ego and how to classify ego. So I'm not gonna stress that over here. And well, what they got for return? And the answer to that question is they only got for so much, like the emotional support. Like I just put a mark the cause here, and the empathies, which, well, have no real benefits to a real man. Like a real man don't need this, don't need like empathy, especially empathy from female friends, female counterparts. Okay, and going down the list, we have number 4, which is have every phase of available windows of interest coming from every no-girls, whether it's in the middle school or in high school or even in college, going to a populated 4-year universities, diverse major, people coming from diverse backgrounds, a lot of like flows of traffics and people as well. And there might be like, if you don't account for it, there might be like a lot of girls who potentially is like have an interest, or grows an interest, or at least don't have criticism over you, but you don't perceive them as one, you don't perceive them as opportunities, or you completely miss them, you miss the shots, you ruin the shots, and because your weakness, the weakness right here, because the weakness right here, or the misconceptions, you just can't put this through your head. You can't think this straight. Okay, you can't think this straight. And number five, the final list is a bad previous experience completely taking over your level of logical sense, taking your cognitive skills, cognitive abilities. You just led you to develop a self-construct ideologies. And yeah, I'm gonna explain that term later, but first stay with me right here. The previous engagement with women will ruin your life, the bad experience and your misconceptions with the engagement, with how you define, how you evaluate every possible details, every small details, every words exchange gonna have dramatic effects in your long time. And before going to the next concept, I'm gonna talk about the biological fields that every guy has, cause we another form of animated species, and we have, it's pretty common. It's not real for us to have biological fears, cause fears can fears is what made us survive to these days, and it can be potentially like a huge emotional booster or energy booster. But again, here I'm talking about the biological fears or engage to girls you don't know. So these indestructible fears coming from your genes telling you to forbidden upon doing something, like not approaching a woman, for example, not in a social circles who seems to host who regard as high status women as you, and you forbidden yourself from approaching these girls or even get to know these girls, because you run into the risk of disqualify from the social circle or get life threatened by the male leaders in the groups. So again, this is a big, like, the background knowledge, like the fear of why there's a fear of rejections. Like, I just want to make sure everything is declared, everything is very explicit, explained, and going on to the to our like main focus, here. Gonna going over psychological terminology, which is social construct ideologies and paradigm. And this is important as well, because there's like the social media or the society from of the mind of the mainstream have the statements of, like, you need to build up your wills, you build up your health, you need to form a good social circles, women go chasing after you, and that's not exactly true. Or to embrace the idea of materialism, to impress any girls, to seek for female qualifications by giving the material, and in another ways, it's only encouraged for people in certain social hierarchies to be justifiable to engage in any form of man to female in a form of romantic relationship. And there's also a stereotype of guys we see every day in the televisions or in the movies. Whether you see the white chats appear in the romance movies, and the features, the external features they usually have with these stereotype, like the muscular builds, like the tough facial features, and or other features attached to the cultural backgrounds. And yeah, just things to consider. That's the second point you take away. Second takeaways for you today's as a background knowledge. And third one is basically a consequence of first two. Okay, let's wrap up a few things. What's the first one? The first one is features, the whether it's like brainwash or the preset models of good guys have these features. Number two is biological fears, which is coming from your genes biologically. The indestructible fears, remember? And third is social construct, ideology, and paradigm, or the stereotype, whichever way you want it. And going to the third part, frames, selective focus. I saw like many of you guys heard of selective focus, but why I use the frame like a very game-based words today? Like, cause everything is a frame. You going on chat with your homies is using your like friends frame. You going a formal conversation with your professor, with your teachers. You're going from like using a professional student to teacher frame, which is like a ones who obeys and the ones who leads, and there's a alpha, there's a beta, the ones who leads, who take in charge, and the ones who receive the high intensity energies, who obeys, who be dominated. And frame is everywhere, frame is everything. And so get back to topics. And most people in the early life stage can only focus on one or two things, like in the stage when we name after the hot-headed, like they in this life stage, they're being misguided and misleading by the social circles in your childhood, whether it's your family or childhood friends or the people you hang out after schools, and the media's Instagram, like the TikTok, the Snapchat. I just don't know, like, well, like every so ongoing populated like social medias, like guys use today. And again, I'm not young. I'm turning to an adult, 21, so I don't know like what teenager use anymore. So what's popular back then, and there's a question you have to take into account, which is what values you can provide. What values can you provide to a girl? Is it material wise, or is it emotional and experience wise? Because different frame, different selective focus will lead you to different consequence. And most of the our frames that focus by the social circles, by the societies, has framed to the more tilted towards the material wise, which is an unhealthy ways for any social collaborations involved with non-material sense, involved with transfer of emotions, transfer of energies, uh, evaluated and weighted based on the experience of two peoples. It's not a business contract. It's not a business war. So that's a big difference over there, and I think that's the meaning of game to help you frame a selective focus, to put your selective focus on the emotional and giving out the best emotion, the better emotion, the better experience, the higher stage of energies. And again, remember, there's no best. Like tomorrow, to be in the present, you're gonna always be better than the past. And if you foresee into the futures, and I'm sure you will see like the future self, the present self who live in the futures. Basically, the future self will surpass everything you do in the present self. So focus on the emotional, focus on the experience, the energy, the high intense energies transfer, the flow transfer between two peoples, between the even the friendly social collaborations. And that's a big takeaway. And I'm gonna tell you why the bad frame selective focus, or in which case the negative selective focus, the things that are not helpful, very destructive, whether to your own life or to the people surround you, to the people care for you, cause you will frame your, cause you will become only focused on the negative things and have passive thoughts, on proving not to be negative and worthless persons in each and every way, in every day, and which will further consume your internal energies, cause you are always find yourself finding a hard battle you need to be struggle on, and there's no winning. You basically fighting with yourself. When you do something you intendedly wanted, you need to go through the phase of finding proof of why doing this, because ain't nobody doing this. You always need to find some sort of, like, not even go through the social qualification, but it's more like the self qualification, self proof. You need to find the self proof. It become a if then statement. If, let's just say, for example, if a greater than 0, then something gonna happen, maybe an apple fall into your grounds. But life ain't no math. Life is no math. It's not a mathematical proof. It's not physics. It's more just my thoughts. Like, it's more like your thoughts define the physical worlds you live in. Like your selective focus, which is purely psychological terms, are mental health term involved in the fields of mental health will greatly shift or even disturb will greatly change the physical world, change the physical environment you live in. Because you make yourself a new reality. And what I mean by that is, if you frame based on negative thoughts and negative and passive thoughts, you basically frame yourself negative realities, which is only you suffering, and nobody's gonna help you. Nobody's can enter your personal territory. And that's the most important takeaways for you guys today. Okay. Alright. If you want to see more about pickup in fields, gaming in fields, or see more about the game mentalities, how this mentality can help you in pursuit of emotional intelligence, or in pursuit of mental toughness, or in pursuit of romantic relationship, or just purely for self-improvement, stick to my channels. I'm pretty down today. I haven't go out for a week to pick up, but the weather's gonna be pretty nice tomorrow, so I'm gonna upload more videos about the game in field, especially the day game in field. Okay, stick out to my channel, subscribe for more positive stream. See you guys next time. Peace out.